Okay, let's just keep going. Even though we're so tired, it's fine. Keep planting flowers every day. Another scene. I grip my midsection, desperately hoping that no one else can hear the furious churning of my stomach. I should have foreseen this anxiety-induced nausea and eaten light today. And I definitely should not have had that red velvet cupcake and venti latte as an afternoon snack. Ugh. Eating your feelings feels so good in the moment, but so bad later on. Ugh. Tonight is my first fashion show, hence the emotional eating. Well, not my first show, obviously, but the first show featuring me as the designer. Normally, as an in-house designer, my designs are under Hugh's label since his name carries all the star power. It works this way with all of the in-house designers, and we, for the most part, remain nameless in the fashion world while Hugh's brand grows and receives all of the credit. Figuring that I should be recognized for my outstanding work, Hugh decided that the brand should feature me as we roll out our new collections geared towards the average consumer. I was the one who suggested we appeal to that market, and I designed most of the pieces, so the company named the collection after me. Initially, I was ecstatic. I mean, it feels great to reap the benefits of your hard work, right? One would think that seeing advertisements for their designs in fashion catalogs would be thrilling. Introducing the Amarantha collection from Hugh Shore. Clothes for the real you. Honestly, it's just terrifying. What if I tarnish the company name? What if my designs aren't good or they don't appeal to the right demographic? So much could go wrong. Though I've organized fashion shows for our company before, never have I had to create a show around just my pieces. I wanted an outsider's input, since I was afraid I'd be blinded by my own bias or something. Hugh's extremely busy, but agreed to come the morning of the show to tweak things while I apply the finishing touches. Unfortunately, though, a client from Milan happened to be in town and stole Hugh away to talk business over brunch. So yeah, I'm understandably a little stressed right now. Scratch that, I'm really stressed. So stressed that I want to rip my hair out. Actually, I'm so stressed that I want to rip other people's hair out too. Is that even a thing? I rifle through my purse and pull out a chocolate protein bar as I make my way towards the backstage area. You need carrot sticks, girl. I swear to God, all the models better be here and getting ready. The 10-minute grace period is up and I'm liable to bite the head off of anyone who's late. As I pull back the curtain and enter backstage, I'm met with a familiar face. Why are you still around? Get lost! Lewis?
Amy, good to see you. Congratulations.
I blink, outwardly shocked. I handpicked each of the models for this show and purposely excluded Lewis. I didn't want to deal with our history, not tonight. And yet, here he is. What? Why are you here? I thought he was never going to work in the industry again. It takes me several moments to form the words.
Dylan, my roommate, was booked, but he got sick at the last minute. We're with the same agency, so I asked if I could take his place. My agent should have contacted you.
Well, she didn't.
Oh.
The silence that follows is awkward, almost painful. I'm upset, but why? Lewis is talented, much more so than Dylan. I'm sure he'll be professional and behave himself, unless he's not afraid of being blacklisted. It's okay, Amy. Roll with it. It's alright. I'm sure you'll do fine. I trust that one of the other models has helped you rehearse.
Yes.
So you know what to do.
Of course.
Good. Without another word, I turn on my heel and go to check in with the rest of the staff. I figure that the less time I spend around Lewis, the better. Yeah. After the show. My goodness, there's a giant eyeball behind you. I lean against one of the outlying beams of the noisy dance hall and slowly nurse my second mint julep. Unfortunately, I was so focused on organizing the fashion show that I had nothing to do with the planning of the after party. The venue location has a hip disco vibe, complete with a light-up floor. Being played entirely too loudly is some sort of dubstep playlist, so much so that my core shakes with each wub. Needless to say, the most interesting part of this gathering to me is the open bar. My eyes absent-mindedly scan the room searching for someone. Ever since I ran into him earlier, the thought of Lewis has been dancing in the back of my mind. I wonder if he's here. Ugh, why are you thinking about him, Amy? I throw back the rest of my drink and almost instantly receive its tingling, mind-numbing effects. I can feel it inching down my esophagus. Yes, that's a word. Esophagus. Burning as it does, yet also momentarily relieving my anxiety. That's better. As I turn to hand my empty glass to one of the servers, I spot Lewis out of the corner of my eye. He's off in the distance and appears flustered, hurrying to and from as if he's looking for someone. I pause, unsure how to avoid him. I can't leave. It's an after-party for my show, after all. But I can't kick Lewis out either. That would be rude, and he was involved in the show. Moments later, I apparently catch Lewis's eye. Barf. He strides towards me, grabbing a couple of drinks from the service tray as he does, and thrusts one of them into my now empty hands.
Amy, I've been looking for you.
I'm not sure if it's the alcohol, the poor lighting, or that giant eyeball, or some perfect combination of all three of these. But Lewis looks unbearably attractive. I take a sip of the drink handed to me, some fruity alcoholic concoction. It's strong. Feeling somewhat more at ease, I indulge in conversation. Looking for me, huh? Why?
I just wanted to see you.
I swear I see his eye glint, probably a reflection of some pulsating light. Why's that?
Just because.
I stare incredulously at him and take another swig of my drink.
What? What's so wrong with that?
Lewis, you know I'm married.
And? Does that mean you can't have any male friends?
I don't want you to get the wrong idea. By now I finish off the drink Lewis handed me. He takes the empty glass and offers the other drink to me. This is so bad. No, I couldn't.
Come on, live a little.
But I've already had... He pushes the drink into my hands, putting an end to my opposition. My fingers bristle at his touch, and his hand seems to linger on mine for a little longer than appropriate.
Just because you're married, you can't have a little fun?
I bring the rim of the glass to my lips and take a sip, ignoring his question. The music seems louder than before, though I'm not sure if it truly is or if it's just some effect of the alcohol. Lewis leans in closer.
What's wrong?
Did you put something in her drinks? As soon as he came with drinks, I'm like, never accept alcohol from strange men that stick their tongues in your throat. I don't know. The music just seems really loud. I'm feeling a little lightheaded. I think I see Lewis grin, or at least look pleased with himself, but it quickly disappears. Was it just my imagination?
Let's get out of here. What do you say?
Should I save? Decline. Lewis, no! I'm married, for Christ's sake! Lewis leans in closer and his large frame seems to tower over me. We need a restraining order. Oh, anger.
Look, I've seen the way you look at me. You want this just as much as I do.
You're crazy. I try to push him away from me in a subtle manner, so as not to draw attention to the two of us, but he quickly grabs my wrist and grips it tightly. He doesn't speak, but instead gazes into my eyes with the sternest expression I've seen him wear. My stomach is knotted in an assortment of emotions. Fear, desire, and confusion, to name a few, and it quickly evolves into the form of a swelling sensation in my gut. Thank you, my hero! Amy! We both turn to see Hugh on the other side of the dance hall, avidly weaving through the crowd in order to get to us. Surprised, I turn to look at Lewis, curious as to how he'll respond. Suddenly, as I look into his deeply panicked eyes, the growing feeling in my stomach rises and manifests as... vomit. All over Lewis's chest. Yay! It spills down the front of Lewis's sleek microwave cotton button-up and onto his burnished leather shoes, forming a puddle around them. Good aiming, girl. And he's gone. Hugh arrives at this time and irately shoves Lewis away from me, sending him reeling backwards and tumbling onto the floor. Couldn't have gone any better. Hugh cups my face in his hands and stares intensely at me for a few seconds, then turns and shouts accusingly at Lewis. What the hell did you do to her?
Nothing.
Lewis sputters a response, still utterly disgusted and attempting to recover from his fall.
She had too much to drink or something.
And whose fault is that? Lewis stands, apparently regaining his composure, and closes in on Hugh.
Look, I didn't make her drink anything, man.
Appearing ready to fight, Hugh turns, but I hastily grab his shoulder and stop him in his tracks. Hugh, it's okay, I'm fine. Though my ringing ears and pounding headaches say otherwise. Hugh touches my cheek again, genuinely concerned, then whips his head around and snarls at Lewis one last time. You'd better get the hell out of here before I call the police.
But I was invited.
Lewis's eyes dart back and forth between Hugh and I, expecting some sort of response, but our repulsed expressions seemingly tell him all that he needs to know. Finally. Slowly fades out. He spins and exits, eliciting a few jeers and appalled gasps from those he passes by. Hugh waits a beat, then engages me. What the hell were you doing with him, huh? Nothing. He came over to talk, that's all. And what did he want to talk about? Ramming his tongue down your throat? Really, Amy, why would you even talk to him?
I didn't want to be rude.
What the hell was he even doing here? I didn't see him on the roster. You didn't invite him, did you?
No, of course not. One of the other models got sick and he stepped in. I didn't even know about it until right before the show. I guess he found out about the party through one of the other models. All the crew are invited, after all. Hugh runs his hand through his hair, muttering a string of obscenities under his breath. I don't think I did anything wrong, Hugh. He winces and pinches the gap between his eyes, then concurs.
I know that, Amy. It's just that guy really pisses me off.
Hugh jerks upright, suddenly remembering my condition. He grips my shoulders, now wearing an alarmed expression.
Are you okay? Do we need to leave?
No, I'm fine. Besides, this is my party. I might as well enjoy it, right? Hugh grins in response and takes my hand in his. Be a sweetheart and tell me if I got any vomit on the corner of my face or anything. The two of us relax and enjoy the rest of the night together, though I abstained from having any more alcoholic beverages. Neither one of us spotted Lewis again for the rest of the evening. Thank goodness. Can we please hope that he's finally gone forever?
Ah, Lewis.
The worst part is that we're actually going to have to cheat on him. I mean, cheat on Hugh with him. And a sad ending, I guarantee it. Nasty. That's what that is. Pure nasty. Okay, and now we're just rest for the rest of the time. Creativity at 100. Affection at 100. Hopefully we picked good ending options. Almost there. Almost there. And there's no point actually saving right now because I'm going to have to pick different options for the other good ending. Hugh, scene 10. I take a moment to stretch my back, then return to my hunched position over the tablet and resume drawing. The Amarantha collection has been a huge success, and consumers and critics alike are anxious for something new. As the head designer, I'm being pressed for more designs. Fortunately, this praise and subsequent pressure has sparked a new creative drive in me. I've been sketching furiously over the past few days, churning out design after design. For the most part, I've shut myself off from the outside world, telling my receptionist to handle all of my calls and emails. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do at all. I don't want to be interrupted for fear that it might hinder my creative streak. Ugh. Suddenly, my phone rings. I already did the exasperated huff, so I pick up the receiver and press it to my ear. I told you that I didn't want to be disturbed. This had better be important.
I know that I'm supposed to tell people that you're busy, but I thought you might want to see this Hey, you can't just barge in there.
Ugh. My office door swings open and in strides Maria Anziani, with all the grace and elegance of a swan. Maria has been a major player in the fashion world for 30 years. She first broke onto the scene in her 20s with a groundbreaking collection. Unlike most designers, she actually served as a model for her pieces as well. Not only was she blessed with talent, but beauty as well. She was a tour de force back then and still is today.
As she's gotten older, however, she's bowed out of the design game and shifted to investing in and nurturing new creatives. She currently finances several new brands and funds the largest college scholarship for prospective designers. Hugh's office is on the top floor. Just hop back on the elevator and go up several floors. Like, a lot of floors.
I'm not here to see that overrated prick. It's you I want, Amy.
Maria glides towards me and rests on the edge of my desk. She impatiently drums her hand on its oak exterior, causing light to reflect off of the gems that adorn her bejeweled fingers. That overrated prick is my husband.
Really?
A look of concern washes over her face, and she stretches out her arms and wraps me in them.
Oh, you poor baby. A wife should be tweeted? Good grief. A wife should be treated like a queen, not one of the help.
I politely disagree. My words are somewhat muffled in her chest. Maria finally releases me, taking a deep breath after she does. Sweet, sweet hair! And casts her gaze upward in a thoughtful manner.
Well, I've always demanded to be treated like a queen, and it's worked out well for me. But I digress. Now, darling, tell me, why is it that you've been ignoring me,
Ignoring you? I've sent you email after email these past few days and waited patiently. I think this was supposed to be hers.
I've sent you email after email these past few days and waited patiently. I even called. I normally don't make grand entrances like this.
Something tells me she does. A lot.
But you can hardly blame a girl after being ignored for so long. I had to make sure you were still alive. So what's the deal? You're clearly alive, so do you just hate me?
I assure you, I don't hate you. I didn't mean to ignore you. I was on a... well, I guess you could call it a design streak? I was afraid that dealing with administrative duties would hinder it somehow. My receptionist was supposed to be replying to my emails. But why were you trying to contact me?
I noticed your collection, Amy. Stunning fashions for the average individual. Love it. I believe everyone should be able to afford to look spectacular, and you aim to do that. I'm sure you realize that clothes are more than just a covering. Clothes are directly tied to our self-esteem. They help transform us into the people we want to be, and to project that image outwardly to others. Everyone deserves to feel confident and beautiful, right? That being said, you're talented. Very talented. In fact, you kind of remind me of myself when I was younger.
Maria's nose scrunches and she continues.
A plainer-looking, slightly chubbier version of myself. Anyhow, I came to you with a business proposition. I think we both know that you've outgrown your usefulness here. This is Hugh's brand, and it's clear there's no room for the burgeoning Amarantha. So why not start your own label? And I, my dear Amy, am willing to fund it.
I'm so taken aback that I nearly fall out of my desk chair. My own label? And Maria Anziani will cover the bill. But then what about Hugh? Thank you so much for your offer. I'm going to have to take a few days to think about it and discuss it with my husband.
Nonsense. You've had your few days to think about it already.
What?
I emailed you 3 days ago. I've been patient enough, Amy. You will make your decision now, and let me remind you that you're not the only talent I've been keeping tabs on, Amy.
The impetuous woman bounces her foot as she waits with bated breath for my response. I can kind of see now why you had to pick the same option for the good ending. Because accepting will always lead to us leaving Hugh, so I will decline. Achievement unlocked. Together. I can't. I'm sorry. Even though I'm honored, such a move would devastate my marriage. Hugh and I hardly see each other as it is, and we work in the same building. If I were to start my own company and work elsewhere, I know we'd grow even further apart. Though I love designing, I love my husband more. Maria pauses reflectively, then nods and rises up off of the desk.
I understand. Fashion is a fantastic beast, but it can't love you back.
She turns and exits with a dramatic flair, leaving me alone with my thoughts. Did I just make a horrible mistake? I pick up my stylus and attempt to continue sketching, but the shaking of my hand prevents me from continuing. A chance like that will never come again. All of a sudden, Hugh bursts into my office, his button-up sprinkled with perspiration. Amy! Maria Anziani was in the hallway! I paused, petrified. What did she tell you? First off, she slapped me and called me an overrated prick. I pinched the space between my eyes and sigh. Well, you kind of are. But more importantly, she told me that I've got one hell of a wife. Hugh takes a few steps towards me, bridging the gap between us. Someone who turned down her own label for the sake of her marriage. Woo! Kissy, kissy, kissy. He rounds the corner of my desk and cups my face in his hands and pulls me into an impromptu kiss. It lasts only a few seconds, but carries more momentum than all the kisses we've shared for the past 6 months. As our faces part, he takes my hands in his and pulls me out of the rickety desk chair. Goodness gracious, this is like blasting my eardrums. Put it up a little bit, there we go. He leads me out of the office, past my bemused secretary, and down the corridor leading towards the elevators. Where are we going? There's a meeting with prospective clients in a few minutes. We're pitching your new swimwear collection to a national retailer. But I'm not involved in the marketing side of things, I'm just a designer. It's your collection, so you should pitch it. I'm not good at stuff like this. You're the charming one. We reach the elevators and Hugh pulls me inside. With one swift motion, he presses the appropriate button, thus closing the doors, then turns to me and places his hands on my shoulders. You're plenty charming. You captured me, after all. He flashes me a cheesy grin, making me rethink that particular conquest. I realize today how valuable an asset you are to this company. From now on, you're going to be given a lot more authority. But with that comes certain responsibilities, like pitching clothing lines to potential clients. The elevator door opens abruptly, causing me to jump. Hugh squeezes my hand reassuringly and smiles. Let's do this. Together. Ending together. Aww. Hooray. Hit me with that poem. A dream you dream alone is only a dream. A dream you dream together is reality. John Lennon. Sometime later. Creativity happy ending. Partner in crime. I slide my finger across the tablet's touchscreen, thus moving the icon I've designated for business lunches on my scheduling app. The client from Prague was supposed to be getting in sometime on Wednesday, but due to an incoming storm cell, they're pushing their departure to Saturday. I'll just have to have a business lunch over the weekend, no biggie. I've been interacting more with potential clients ever since Hugh made me a partner. Though initially stressful, I feel like I've gained a significant amount of confidence and become a much more articulate and effective communicator because of it. Honestly, though, there were a whole lot of restless nights spent pitching PowerPoint presentations to a mirror that led up to this. My becoming partner has cut Hugh's workload in half, however, so all in all, we have more time to spend together. Nevertheless, things aren't perfect. We still fight a lot, but I imagine it's only natural for two creatives to butt heads every once in a while, right? Especially when one of those heads is Amy. While we're both proving to be successful in the career world, our marriage still has a long way to go. But this promotion puts us working together more, and it eases Hugh's workload enough so that he has extra time to spend with me outside of work as well. At the very least, this only means that things can get better from here. Huh, that was an interesting special ending. We didn't even see Hugh. We're just working together. I wonder if the special ending will change depending on which good ending you've got. We'll have to find out. But anyway, that ended up being a lot cuter than I was expecting from Hugh's route. Even though freaking Lewis is the absolute worst, and I'm so glad that Amy vomited all over him. I'm sorry, but like, how many times do you have to say no to a guy? Goodness gracious me. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We've got Hugh's first good ending. I really enjoyed it, much more than I thought I would. So next time we'll go and try and get his second happy ending. I hope I'll see you over there for that, guys. Until then, see you later.